how you look at it, the Eagles do damage. They do a ton of damage to these teams in just one half of football. Can you imagine what they're going to do when they play a full 60 minutes? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. I know most of you guys have to be on cloud 9 today. You have to be on cloud 9 because the Eagles are 6-0. They're 6-0. They just manhandled the Cowboys, and they're undisputedly the best team in the NFC without question. Now, we're going to get into it in a second, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure to like. More importantly, make sure you subscribe for daily Eagles content, NFL content. You definitely don't want to miss it. And if you've been subscribed for a while, you know the deal. Just double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. You like how I did that? That was like things are in motion, you know? And things are in motion. The Eagles are 6-0, and the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, without question. One other side note real quick. I will be streaming the Thursday night game this week, Saints, Cardinals. I won't be streaming tonight, but I will be streaming that game on Thursday. I'll also be streaming the Phillies tomorrow. So if you want to come hang out with me, definitely do that. And the Saints game is important, okay? It's very important because the Saints right now are 2-4. And they're going to go to Arizona and they're going to lose. I think the Cardinals are getting DeAndre Hopkins back, okay? So they're getting DeAndre Hopkins back, and that's huge. If the Cardinals beat the Saints, which I think they will, then you're talking about a 2-5 team. And right now, if the draft was to be held right now today, guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles have the 6th overall pick. The 6th overall pick. How awesome is that? Okay? If the Eagles somehow, a 6-0 team, undefeated team, a team that could very well get the number 1 seed in the NFC, still have a top 10 pick, maybe a top 5 pick, that would be unbelievable. So we have to watch that game. We have to root for the Arizona Cardinals because we need that first-round pick to be as high as possible. And also, speaking of Arizona, we did have a little bit of breaking news today in terms of NFL trades. This is an interesting one. According to Ian Rappaport, he says the Arizona Cardinals have traded Pound Panthers wide receiver Robbie Anderson. So Kyler Murray gets a new wide receiver. Robbie Anderson is headed to Arizona. I wanted to say St. Louis, but he's headed to Arizona. And I got to tell you, I think the house cleaning in Carolina is just beginning. And we'll talk more about potential guys that the Eagles could trade for in another video, because trade deadline is coming soon. So the Eagles are going to have to do something. But I doubt Robbie Anderson will play Thursday. But he got traded to Arizona, and we'll see how it goes. But we definitely need Arizona to win that game. Now, as far as this game went yesterday, right? As far as this game with the Cowboys went, it was tremendous. It was like a great night. It was a wonderful night. It was something that was like coming for over a year. Pause. All right, it was something I've been waiting for. Ever since the Eagles took that first beating in Dallas, which was a legitimate beating, I've been wanting to play the Dallas Cowboys again. And, it's amazing to me the talent that the Philadelphia Eagles have. Because a lot of people right now are saying, you let Dallas back in, especially Cowboy fans. Like, I had some really nice Cowboy fans in my chat, wish us, congratulated us and stuff. Some nice ones in the comments. But today I'm getting flooded by congratulations on beating a backup quarterback. Congratulations on beating a practice squad quarterback. Congratulations on winning against a team that has no quarterback. Like, things like that. Like, all of a sudden, this game is meaningless. I knew this was going to happen. We predicted this was what the Cowboy fans would say. Oh, we don't have Dak Prescott. We didn't have Dak Prescott. It wouldn't have mattered if you had Dak Prescott or not, because Dak Prescott doesn't play defense. All right? And in the fourth quarter, when Dallas was trying to make it close, what did Jalen Hurts do? He goes on a clutch, and I mean, it's a clutch, uh, 7-minute drive, scores a touchdown to Devontae Smith. If that defense is so great, like the 1985 Bears and all the things we've heard, where were they at the biggest, most important part of that game? The Eagles were without Lane Johnson, so the offensive line was banged up, but you didn't stop them. So to me, the Eagles would have beat Dallas whether Dak played or Dak didn't play. It might have been closer if Dak played, but I don't think it would have changed the game. The fact is this, all right? And when we look at this game and I give you my final thoughts on this game, I have to go back, and I haven't watched the All-22s, and I haven't watched the game back yet. But to me, the big thing that sticks out is when the Eagles are playing and they're on, nobody can stop them. Nobody in the league can stop them. I mean, they offensively, when they're clicking, they can't be stopped. Dallas can't stop them. Nobody can stop them. They've been breaking records in the second quarter of games this year. Get this. The Eagles scored 20 points in the second quarter last night, bringing their total to 112 points scored in the second stanza in 2022, which is the most points by any team in a quarter in the first 6 games of a season in NFL history. Okay? In NFL history. These guys are scoring ridiculous amounts of points, okay? And this Eagles team is a young team. They're a very young team, and their coaches are young, and they're all learning. They're all learning it. They're learning how to win. And one of the things that they're going to have to figure out how to do, and one of the things that I'm sure they will as the season goes on, is they're going to have to know how to finish teams. They're going to have to know when to put somebody away. They had a chance. They had Dallas, like I said in my victory celebration scar video, like Dallas was like this in the second quarter. They're staggering. They're throwing like this. They don't know. They're out on their feet. And the Eagles needed to throw that big shot to knock them out, and they didn't. And they let Dallas hang around. That is something to me that is coaching, and it has to be fixed. And it's something I think that you have to learn. I think this is a learning process for Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff. But the Eagles, so far this year, if you look at everything they've done, every team they've played, let's start with Detroit. They were blowing them out at halftime. They were blowing out Minnesota at halftime. They were blowing out Washington at halftime. Jacksonville, they go down 14-0. Come back, make that game out of reach, and slowly Jacksonville crawls its way back in that game. Arizona, you're up 14-0, and then Dallas, you're up 20-0. The Eagles have to learn how to finish. They have to learn how to close these teams out. Basically, they got to stay more aggressive later in the game. You can't go off of the script. It seems like and I said this yesterday. It was right when the Eagles got the ball back at the 35 after Dallas stupidly didn't challenge the CeeDee Lamb first down, which was, and then they go for them 4th and inches at their own 35, and they don't even quarterback sneak or run. They actually tried to throw it and catch the Eagles off guard. Now, at that point, Dallas was down. They were ready to get knocked out, okay? Mentally, they were ready to get knocked out. But the Eagles settled for a field goal, and I feel like they were comfortable settling for a field goal instead of pushing for a touchdown. Same thing on the next series when Darius Slay picked that ball off. So when I look at this game and I go back to my final thoughts, it's simply this. The Eagles are the best team in the conference, and when they're doing what they're supposed to do, when they're clicking, you can't stop that offense. It's too good. It's too good. I don't think any team can stop them. And, listen, Dallas is supposed to have the best defense in the league this year, right? That's what everybody says. Oh, Dallas has the best defense in the league, great pass rush. Where was Parsons yesterday? Parsons, no sacks. He had 3 or 4 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Did nothing. He did nothing. And Lane Johnson was shutting him down and shutting everybody down. Lane Johnson goes out. Still, the Eagles didn't give up a sack. And, they did some good things with him. When he was in coverage and he wasn't rushing, they threw the ball. When he looked like he was going to rush, they ran the ball, and it was pretty smart. And and shout out to LB because he pointed out this stat on Twitter. I saw Parsons doesn't have a sack against an NFC East team. That's crazy. All the division teams he's played, he hasn't had a sack yet. That's interesting to me. That's very interesting. But the Eagles offensively, when they're clicking, when they're on, I don't think they can be stopped. They just have to learn how to basically shut a team down, shut them out, and end it. They have to know when to go for the kill shot. That's what it is. Got to go for the kill shot. You have to be a stone cold killer. Kobe Bryant, stone cold killer. He knew when to do it. Jimmy Butler, stone cold killer. He knew when to do it. Nick Sirianni and his offense, they're learning how to do that. They haven't figured it out yet. And I think eventually he'll figure it out. He'll get a feel for it, once the Eagles improve that area of their game, I don't think anybody can beat them. I don't think anybody can beat them, because really the only way I see a team beating the Eagles right now is if the Eagles take a lead and then go into a lull and then a team winds up coming back. If the Eagles take care of that and shore that up, you're not going to stop them. So to me, when I look at this game, the Eagles go up 20-0 on Dallas. I mean, Dallas didn't know what hit them. They walked into a buzzsaw, and they didn't know, and it took them a while. This Eagles team is really, really good. They have to learn to win. They have to learn how to finish teams, and they'll be fine. And that's really what I took out of this game. I thought Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, absolutely tremendous yesterday. I thought Jalen Hurts was really good. He may not have the big stats to prove it, but once again, we're talking about a quarterback that had to go on a drive in the fourth quarter when all the momentum was on the other team and you needed something. He willed that offense. He took that offense down the field and scored a touchdown. And really, that touchdown, it was over after that. Jalen Hurts impressed me again, because in those situations, pressure situations, he's coming up big. And as the season goes on, there'll be more and more and more of those pressure situations, including the playoffs. And so far, he's handling it like a champ, like a leader. So I was impressed with that. I was impressed with this team for the most part. I hate that they let Dallas back into the game. It's something that they have to fix, because this has happened 5 other weeks, and I'm sure they will. It's going to be interesting. But now the Eagles are on a bye week, and you got to rest up. You have Kelsey hurt, Dickerson banged up, Mulata banged up, Lane Johnson banged up, Sayamalu. The whole offensive line is banged up. So you've got to get healthy. You got to get healthy. But overall, man, what a start. 6-0, unbelievable, best team in the conference by far. And when you look at the rest of the NFC, they can beat Green Bay. They can beat the Rams, and they can beat the Buccaneers. There's not a team in this conference they can't beat. The teams like Buffalo, Kansas City, those kind of teams, Eagles can keep up with them. They can play with them. I have no doubt. But fortunately for the Eagles, they don't have to deal with it until they would be in the Super Bowl. They won't see any of those teams in the playoffs. The guys and teams that they'll see in the playoffs, they're all coming to Philly. So this was a tremendous win for the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. Very impressive win. Not perfect. They have things to clean up. But the one thing that you can take is, if this is the best defense in the National Football League right now, the Eagles, when they're ready to go and they're in rhythm and they're playing, the defense can't stop them. I almost wish they would have taken more shots downfield. That's something I want to see going forward. I want to see them test the Dallas secondary next time. Definitely do. But the Philadelphia Eagles, 6-0, and yeah, it's time to move on to Pittsburgh, I guess. We play Pittsburgh in 2 weeks, but before that, we got to figure out what this team is going to do at the trade deadline, because it's coming very soon. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. I don't see how anybody can say that the Philadelphia Eagles haven't beat anybody good yet. They've beaten the Minnesota Vikings, who are now 5-1, and they've beaten the Dallas Cowboys, who are 4-2. Who else are they supposed to beat? The Philadelphia Eagles? They can't play themselves. We'll get the Giants later on in the year. We'll see where they're at. But right now, the Eagles, they are the real deal. No question about it. Denzel Washington, out.